I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece. Completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win. I'll take a stab, I wanna chase a bag. I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch.
In my brain, running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this. I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen no many ones that are so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started the outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch.
Sick of the venom in my brain, running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started the outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted, created a legacy off of me just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
I wanna be best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I God is working, never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah. I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I'm a python, grab what I like, real I have everything, I attack everything that I lack, everything want and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my enemy, only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it. could try to play it, but you never gonna look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, you're miss a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. Could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Bloody hands break through the chain, will free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is in a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take so far. It's like you lifetime. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stay from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no. I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work just to be me. Rise up just so they could see me, just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own burden down. I feel like no one takes accountability. The credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the fucking hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and fuck all the doubters, they're just fucking downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at the fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IWN YouTube channel once again. This is your WWE NXT Vengeance Day 2023 review. If you guys are new to the channel, thumbs up. Let's get a lot of likes minimum on tonight's Vengeance Day watch along or Vengeance Day review. Thank you guys for joining the live chat. Let's get some more people here if we can. You guys can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Links to both of my accounts are down in the description below. Be sure you go check out all the other content I have on the channel. If you guys missed my Vengeance Day watch along, which I did mention, I mentioned by accident, but now I'm mentioning it again. If you guys missed my Vengeance Day watch along, go check it out. We had a good time. Only one person commented in the live chat. Nobody else did. I was trying to figure out why nobody else wouldn't comment in the live chat. I didn't understand that. I was lost on that one. Man, I didn't say nothing bad on there. Vengeance Day wasn't the greatest pay-per-view. But boy, it certainly was the best pay-per-view of 2023. Best match on this paper, Carmelo Hayes versus Apollo Crews, and Carmelo Hayes versus Apollo Crews and Wes Lee versus Dijak. Those were the two best matches on the pay-per-view, in my opinion. Overall, there was nothing bad. There was no butches. There was excitement. There was feel on this pay-per-view. There was definitely hype on this pay-per-view. The fans were so loud. Like, they were so excited. They were. That's why I wish you guys were in my live chat last night for my Vengeance Day watch-along. You would have heard how loud the fans were last night for the show. It seemed like every match that was produced and written, the fans were quiet. Seems like the fans are quiet when the matches start, but then before the matches start, when the superstars come out, that's when the fans start to get loud. Strange, right? I find that to be very strange, very, very weird and unusual. Usually the fans are getting when superstar comes out, the match starts. I don't know, man. It's weird, strange, very strange. So, of course, kickoff show. Nobody was interested in watching that. I wasn't either. I didn't even bother watching the kickoff show. The show started off with an intro, hype up the Premium Live Event. Of course, the NXT commentary team, the terrible NXT commentary team was Booker T and Vince Joseph. I wish it was Mario Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness on commentary. To be honest, I think Nigel sounds better than Booker T on commentary. Even Mario Ranallo sounds Joseph and Booker T on commentary. And Corey Graves, Pat McAfee, even they sound better than the both of those. I'm gonna bring back Mario Ranallo for NXT commentary, man. I mean, Vince Joseph, Booker T, I just don't like their commentary. Their commentary is bad. All right. I really don't. Outside the commentary, man, the pay-per-view was decent. It was great. The commentary, Lisa Taylor was the announcer. The arena looked well attended according to the camera shots. Entrances for the North American match here. We got Wes Lee versus Dijak for the North American Championship. I think I'm gonna call him Dominic Dijakovic. I'm not gonna call him Dijak, man. You know what? For now, I'll call him Dijak for now. Hopefully, when they change his name back to Dominic Dijakovic, I can start calling him Dominic Dijakovic now. Like whenever he called back up to the main roster. Dijak's size advantage gave him the advantage during the initial collar and elbow lockup. Now, Lee got Dijak in a headlock, but Dijak escaped with a gut punch and shoulder tackle. Dijak kept jawing at Lee, telling him to simply give up. At one point, Lee acted like up by laying down. Instead, gave Dijak an overhead kick. Lee hit Dijak with a shoulder check at slingshot Hurricane Rana. Lee hit Dijak with a wrecking ball kick, and then Lee crossbody. Dijak caught Lee out of the air and seamlessly transitioned into a Death Valley driver. Dijak worked Lee with wrist holds and raining strikes. Dijak hit Lee with the time to fly for the 2 count. Lee went for a crossbody, but was given a knee to the gut, tossed to ringside like a bag of garbage. Legitimately. He legitimately was. Dijak got a 2 after softening up Lee a bit. Dijak came to soften up Lee with methodical offense. He jumped Dijak inside with a dodge. Yeah, sure he did. No, I'm just joking. I'm playing. Which gave him a moment of respite. Lee worked on Dijak with bowling blows. Lee tripped up Dijak with a basement drop kick. Lee hit Dijak with a chambered thrust kick. Lee struggled like Dijak. He shook up Dijak with a roundhouse, which allowed him to deadlift into a bridge German suplex for a 2 count. Now both traded hands on the apron. Dijak went for a DVD, but Lee slipped out. And that's what they called it, DVD. Jeez. Sounds more like a CD to me. Lee backdropped Dijak on the apron. Lee hit Dijak with a Fosbury flop. Dijak caught Lee out of the air. Just don't let a fat slob. Just don't let a fat slob get caught in that kind of move like that. It went for Feast Your Eyes. Lee escaped with a Poison Rana. Lee hit Dijak with a Michinoku drop for a near fall. Dijak avoided a 40 with a super kick. Dijak caught Lee off the springboard into a sit-out slam for a near fall. Dijak put Lee in a standing crossface chicken wing. Lee went for a snapmare, only allowed Dijak to find the crossface chicken wing. Lee kept his arm pumped to not fade away. Lee got to his feet before Lee could go to the rope. Dijak went to Feast Your Eyes. Lee avoided it with a roll-up. Lee with a choke slam. Dijak dared Lee to knee him in the face. Lee gave Dijak a knee. Dijak came right back with a cyclone boot for a near fall. Dijak Lee with a boot and lariat for another near fall. Dijak dragged. Lee countered a super-powered bomb with a Frank Steiner. He hit Dijak with a final flash spiral tap. Dijak kicked out of Lee's finisher at 2. Dijak went for a suicide dive, and then he saw it coming. It shoved a flying Lee into the timekeeper barricade. Dijak trapped Lee in an with a broom as a belt. Dijak hit a trap Lee with a super kick. And then Dijak went to the top rope out of nowhere. Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo pushed Lee out of the way and ate Dijak's moonsault, taking the blunt for Lee. Lee caught Dijak with a kick and Mars attack backflip for the victory. So that was pretty much it for that match. This was a fun match. It was definitely the right choice to start the show. The crowd was hyped. The superstars looked great. The result was one of the least predictable matches of the night. That's all I got to say about that. And you know what? Kudos to both men for putting on quite the show. You know, it helps that they also don't overdo the style in WWE. So this type of match felt fresh. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but what also felt fresh was seeing NXT in an arena, which gave a bigger feel compared to the Performance Center. And I'm sure you guys, like I am, sure you guys are okay with them protecting Dijak here, because it would have probably hurt him a bit to lose one of his first matches clean after his reboot. I'm not sure how I really feel about Dijak versus Tony D'Angelo feud. I don't know, man. It doesn't feel right. You know, if they're both heels, I don't think it makes sense for them to do that. It just doesn't. I don't know why you would book a heel versus a heel. It don't make sense to book a heel versus a heel or a babyface versus a babyface. And also, this Dijak D'Angelo feud will also include the underball Stacks. I guess we'll see where that goes. Grayson Waller at the Spectrum Center earlier last night. Joseph Booker T checked in from the commentary table. They sent the show to Kenzie Mitchell to be Vince Joseph's wife, believe it or not, who interviewed the women's tag team champions, Katana Chance and Kayden Carter. Chance and Carter hyped up their upcoming title defense. Entrances for the NXT tag team title match aired. So we have Kayden Carter versus Fallon, Henley, and James, with Josh Briggs, Bronson for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Didn't really. Carter tossed down James and shook her booty in the face of Brooks Jensen. Now, I don't think that was right. I think that was very rude for her to do that. Kiana James did not take exception to that at all. I don't think she took that well. You can be very, very, very unhappy about it. Like, you can instantly tell. Anyways, Briggs covered the innocent eyes of young Jensen. Carter rolled to ringside and gave Jensen a booty slap. Chance tagged in and gave James a slingshot senton. James and Henley entered the ring, gave their opponents stereo lariats. Henley got a 2 count on Carter. Chance tagged in, and the champs hit Henley with tandem offense. James tagged, gave Chance a knee to the back. Gave Chance a back suplex for a 2 count. Henley tagged and gave Chance a twisting facebuster for a 2 count. Carter Blind tagged herself in when Henley went for a suplex on Chance. Carter hit Henley with a running splash and James with a dropkick at the same time. Hit Henley a face wash. Oot. Carter tossed Chance into both opponents for a crossbody. Chance hit Henley with a cuckoo kick for a 2 count. James tagged in. Chance hit James with an assisted rebound, Hurricanrana. Carter tagged in, ate a spine buster for a 2 count. Joseph noted that Jensen was wearing a suit that James gave him as a gift. Carter backdropped Chance. James got the knees up to block the splash. Henley tagged in, hit Chance with a springboard, block, buster. James and Henley hit Chance with a double midget Oku driver. Carter broke up in. Missed a moonsault on Carter's side, and Carter came back with a cutter to the floor. Now Henley and Chance traded forearms. Chance gave Henley a tackle to the gut. Carter tagged in, went for a superplex. Henley escaped. Both women traded strikes on the top rope. Flying tagged in. Carter put Henley in the top rope electric chair, which allowed Chance to hit Henley with a super Frankensteiner for the 2 count. So then James shoved Chance off the top rope to prevent the tag champs from hitting Henley with their finisher. Henley rolled up Carter. James held on to Carter's legs to give Henley the tainted pinfall victory. Fallon Henley and Kiana James become the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Let me know in the chat. Carter was disappointed as the former tag champs were selling that they were screwed out of the title. Yeah, because of Kiana James. Into getting her and her team and her teammate known as Henley to win the new NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, this could be signaling for a main roster call-up for Kiana, or not Kiana, but could be signaling a main roster call-up for Katana and Kayden Carter. Possibly. We'll have to see. We don't know that yet. Yes, this was a bluffer match, but it was a logical and productive bluffer match that forwarded the women's tag title picture while also bringing down the crowd a bit from the high work rate Dijak versus Lee match. It was still solid. It was still solidly tough, though. You know, both teams did put on effort. It had some fun spots. It was also all over the place, too. It did feel like they tried to pack a little too much into the time they had. I ain't gonna lie, a few spots felt rushed from watching this match. Really. I'm not even lying. Not even joking, man. But both teams did put in hard work, and 3 were enough false finishes to keep things interesting. That if a title change were happening, which it did, was the way to go to continue to keep Henley and James at odds, while also continuing the story of James gaslighting Henley in the eyes of horny Brooks Jensen. The show cut to Drew Gulak cutting a promo on Instagram. He was coaching Hank Walker. Gulak told Walker to take the lead versus Dijak match as a lesson where larger opponents need to ground high flyers like Lee to win. Walker also admonished Walker for dressing up, or should I say Gulak also admonished Walker for dressing up like a plumber or something. Gulak said that Walker needs to get more proper ring gear. Show cut to a Lyra Valkyrie cutting a promo where she talked about Cora Jade ducking out of their advertised match this past Tuesday. Valkyrie said she'd be back in action this up Tuesday, which will be this one. And Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes hype package aired. Trick Williams was in the ring to give Carmelo Hayes a personalized ring entrance. Williams introduced Melo as the 2021 breakout superstar, the winner of NXT War Games, the longest reigning North American champion, cruiserweight champion, him, Carmelo Hayes. Melo does this, as you all know, folks. He made his entrance wearing a t-shirt with Apollo Crews' face out with blue spray paint. He looked like he wearing a female shirt, Carmelo Hayes does. Melo took off the shirt and rubbed his shoes in it. Apollo Crews, I don't know why I said Melo. Apollo Crews also got a personalized entrance. Various video walls showed highlights from Apollo's WWE career. Apollo Crews made his entrance. Got the best of 3 falls match. This was a very good match, man. Very, very good match. Now, the 2 out of 4 falls felt third on the card with Crews and Hayes squaring off. These 2 men are both gifted technicians and high flyers, so they especially started with a paced exchange of holds and taps. The match had too much action to properly recap, but what you need to know, what you guys need to know right now is that this will likely end up being the match of the night for people. That included me. I thought this was one of the best matches on the show. The other match was Wes Lee versus Dijak. If you actually go back to the beginning of the review, I actually said it in the open. Right in the open, I said it. These guys are both at the top of their game, so that shouldn't be anyone's surprise at all. Especially if you're a WWE fan, especially if you've been a WWE fan all your life, which I have. I have, almost. While there was no official stipulation, it felt like an unofficial no one contenders match. Whoever came away with the win will likely face the champ at the next big show. Toward the end of the second fall, Dabakato, he was former Commander Zeus. He was that former Commander Zeus gimmick. He showed up to prevent Trick Williams from, but that didn't stop Hayes from scoring the second straight fall to win the match. Kato looked like he would hose up, but he ended up attacking his former ally, which I knew was going to happen. I predicted. Watch, he's going to turn on his best friend. He's going to turn on his friend. He's going to turn on his ally, and it happened. Dropping him in the chair with chokeslam. I predicted this last night. Now, booking the match to go 2-0 was a very intentional decision to make Hayes look good before he pursues the NXT title again. Now, Hayes coming out after Bron Breakker's successful title defense sets up Bron Breakker's feud with Carmelo Hayes. I just thought I'd go ahead and tell you that ahead of time. Just thought I'd go ahead and let you know that now, while it was on my mind. Now, one thing to note here, guys, a standing shooting star press will always be impressive. Know that. Okay. Now, Joseph wondered if Apollo Crews tapped up to have more endurance for the long haul. Both men traded facial strikes and holds. But yeah, this was a good, well-paced marathon match. And like I was saying, Carmelo did come out. The match looked strong, as he actually had to overcome his interference backfiring. The match was well-paced, consisting of evenly timed, distributed acts, basically. The match ended with the sweep, as we've been conditioned as wrestling fans to expect the second fall to even things up based off commentary. Melo will be challenger for the NXT Championship at the Los Angeles Arena show. Crews stimuli bounces back from his loose by being put in a program with his former enforcer, Commander Aziz, where he's Dabba-Kato now. One of those Vince's decision to have Dabba-Kato back on the show. Probably was, ain't no telling. I don't think this was a Triple H decision. I think this was a Vince McMahon Bruce decision. Wonder if he's still talking with those people at the departments. Probably is. He's probably making changes. He's probably telling those people at the departments to make changes to WWE. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. He could be. Vince is still there. Bruce is still there. So, Bruce underwent surgery. Just so you guys know, I gave out that news yesterday. I wonder what JD thinks of that one. He's probably going to be laughing. Briggs and Jensen were celebrating with Henley and James after their title win. James congratulated Henley and thanked Jensen for setting this match up. An ad aired for NXT Stand and Deliver, which will be happening WrestleMania week in Los Angeles at the former Staples Center. I will be live for NXT Deliver. I will not only be live for that, but I'll be live with your WrestleMania 39 watch along as well. So I'll be live with your NXT Stand and Deliver watch along review as well as WrestleMania 39 watch along review for nights 1 and 2, like last year. Bron Breakker was shown warming up in the locker room. A WWE Black History Month PSA aired. Vince Joseph talked about how Kofi Kingston was not only a former WWE World Champion, but also the most decorated WWE Tag Team Champion when he seemingly picked up the NXT Tag Team title. The show cut to Chase U hyping each other outside the arena for the pre-show. You could tell Thea Hall and Duke Hudson was cold out there. Well, they should have been putting on jackets. That's their fault. They should have covered themselves up. Entrances for the Tag Team Championship match took place. A Chase U student section was shown in the crowd. And Joseph noted that Andre Chase's brother and former tag team partner Lance Bravado was in the crowd to watch his brother. As usual, Booker continued to hate on the New Day. Alicia Taylor handled the formal in-ring championship match introductions. Didn't Alicia Taylor used to be a backstage correspondent or something like that? Backstage interviewer? I think she did. I think she was. Used to be, I think. Anyways, the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus Andre Chase and Duke Hudson with Thea Hall at ringside versus Pretty Deadly's Kit Wilson, Elton Brent versus Gallus, Gallus's Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Kofi and Woods dominated Elton Prince early on. Woods dumped Prince to ringside. Woods shoved Wilson into Prince's shoulders. They did their taunts to New Day. Kofi caught Pretty Deadly with a baseball slide. Pretty Deadly fell to the floor after Thea Hall yelled at them with her megaphone. And Hudson tagged in to work on Prince with offense. Again, Chase and Hudson tagged in to work on Prince with tandem offense. Wilson tagged in and took an automatic drop from Chase. Mark tagged out Chase so he and Wolfgang can work on Wilson. So then Wilson fell into Woods, who tagged in. Woods hit Mark with rapid palm strikes. Mark came back with a knee. Wolfgang tagged in, hit Woods with a basement lariat. Prince tagged in, or should I say tagged out Wolfgang. Prince and Wilson kept Woods isolated in their corner with isolation offense and tagged out. Prince gave Chase and Hudson a deep shot, which allowed Woods to recover and hit Prince with a drop kick. Kofi got the hot tag and cleaned house with all of his opponents. And Kofi hit Pretty Deadly Mark Coffey with a boom drop. And then Prince ducked a Trouble in Paradise and ate a SOS. Wilson broke up the pin. Everyone took turns hitting their signature moves on each other. Prince sent Kofi into a gutbuster by Wilson for a 2 count. And Kofi dumped Wilson to ringside. Woods and Kofi hit Prince with their up, up, down, down double stomp backbreaker finisher. The rest of the wrestlers broke up Kofi's pin on Prince. Chase dropped Kofi to a pile of wrestlers at ringside. Wilson came in, club Chase if he win. Wilson with a superplex to ringside on the pile of wrestlers at ringside. Gallus tossed around Chase after they recovered. Joseph noted that there are no disqualifications or countouts. Hudson tossed around Gallus to prevent them from throwing Chase through the table. Duke Hudson cleared off the table. Wilson hit Hudson with a running uppercut. Hudson kept a low base to block double suplex through the table. Prince saved Wilson from eating an Alabama slam through the table. Now, Pretty Deadly undid Hudson's work by putting the equipment back on the announce table. Hudson caught both Pretty Deadly members with a double lariat. And then Hudson hit Wilson with an atomic drop and senton. Hudson hit Plex. Mark Coffey hit Hudson with a flying shoulder tackle. Hudson recovered and did a kip up. Wolfgang distracted Hudson while he was tuning up the horn. Gallus dragged Hudson to the announce table, gave him a double team Uranagi through the table. Chase had to fend off both Gallus boys with right hands. Chase dropped Wolfgang to ringside. Chase hit Mark with a Russian leg sweep. Chase hit Mark with the chase boots. Chase hit Mark Coffee with a high fly flow for a 2 count. Chase then put Mark in a figure 4, which drew woos from the Charlotte crowd. They broke up the move with a swanton bomb. Gallus hit Chase with their power slam enziguri finisher. Chase kicked out of Mark's pin. Kofi flew at Mark with a flying axe handle. Kofi dropped Wolfgang to ringside. Kofi went for a thrust fall at ringside. He was out of the air. Ready slammed Kofi with spilled milk. Woods caught Mark with a haymaker. Woods went for a limit breaker. Or should I say limit break? On Mark. But Wolfgang caught Woods out of the air. Gallus hit Woods with a high-low power slam to give Mark the win over Woods. Again, Wolfgang caught Woods in the air. Gallus hit Woods with a high-low power slam to give Mark the win over Woods. It shows that both sets of NXT tag titles changed, basically. Why is my audio skipping? I don't even have my webcam on, and my audio is still skipping. Why? Why? I would love to know why. I'd love to know why. Now, tag match for the NXT Tag Team Championships was a fun and high energy multi-team cluster that really, really worked. What I thought WWE did best was not tip their hand as to who was winning. Now, I felt like every team had an equal shot to win. I'm pretty sure some of you guys bought into Chase U winning with the commentary team laying on thick all night that Andre Chase was in his hometown and had his family in the crowd. I almost suspected that this to be a bluffer, basically. You know what I mean? But it stood out as anything but kudos to Xavier Woods for doing the job to the up-and-coming tag team. Really good stuff there, man. Really, really good stuff from those guys. Now, this was actually the team that gains the most from winning the tag team titles. Each one of the other 3 teams are made in terms of character. In ring, basically. Gallus not only lacked charisma without Joe Coffey, they also ate a ton of losses coming off their NXT debut. Big guys are fun. Big old boys have the opportunity to win us over with their brutality and hopefully develop in terms of becoming better characters. An ad aired for the show Against the Ropes on Netflix, which was a luchadora show featuring Rey Mysterio. Vince Joseph thanked the music group Bortu for providing the song Riptide as the theme song for NXT Vengeance Day 2003. You know, Riptide happens to be Rhea Ripley's. You guys know that, right? I find it funny how they performed the song Riptide when they don't realize that Riptide is Rhea Ripley's finisher in WWE. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, man. I'm sorry. I find it hilarious. A hype package aired to hype the Women's Championship Triple Threat. Interests for the NXT Women's Championship match, which was a triple threat match. It took place. Gigi Dolan, JC Jane made entrance together as the Toxic Attraction Tag Team. Alicia Taylor handled the formal in-ring championship match introductions. Going into the triple threat match for the NXT title, Perez was at a disadvantage because Jane and Dolan were still trying to work as a unit, despite the fact that only one woman can win in the end. For a long time, Toxic Attraction worked together against Perez, but the former Roxy was able to find ways to use the numbers game against them to keep herself in the fight. As soon as Jane tried to get a pin while Dolan was outside the ring, they began to argue. Dolan pulled her into the way of a suicide dive from Perez and then began beating the champion down. After putting Dolan through a table at ringside, Perez hit a cold red from the turnbuckle on Jane to score the pin and retain her title in an entertaining and energetic match. What an exciting match that was, coming from those ladies. Now, it was a creative match with all three women putting in hard work. Okay. Check. The match also ended up being the come down after two high energy matches, guys. And it was still pretty solid. All three women put in hard work. The women did their best job to tell both the story of Perez having to overcome the numbers advantage and the story of JC and Gigi being at each other's throats. Now, I find it easy to believe that the NXT pay-per-views deliver more than the actual NXT shows in the Performance Center. Credit to them to get here, given that this match was supposed to involve Mandy Rose before Rose's abrupt release. The outcome was totally expected, though, given that there was no reason to think Gigi or JC are ready to headline the Mania weekend match. Now, Perez is the best bet in that case for the LA show. Speaking of which single wrestler do they build up for the Mania show? Now, I don't think NXT has a single star or heel heated up enough to be clear to have a showdown with Perez right now. That's just how I feel about it. Given that the NXT shows most of the weeks are not really that good, the NXT pay-per-views are. That's why I say I find it easy to believe that the NXT pay-per-views deliver more than the NXT shows themselves, the actual NXT shows, the regular NXT episodes. A Bron Breakker versus Grayson Waller hype package aired. They were going into the main event for the 2023 NXT Vengeance Day pay-per-view. The camera followed both challengers to the ring from the gorilla press, or should I say gorilla position, actually. From the gorilla position, man, Grayson Waller had a shorty behind him with golden sneakers on a pillow. Waller was heading to the ring wearing Scott Steiner style chain mail on his head. Waller then made his entrance with a conga line of shorties with glow sticks and champagne. Bron Breakker broke through the logo of Grayson Waller's talk show on a poster during his entrance. You know Grayson Waller's gonna get all the ladies out there with him, man. He's gonna try to show off. He's gonna be like Dolph Ziggler, the show off, man. You know he got to be like Damian Priest and Velveteen Dream with all the ladies, man. I remember seeing Velveteen Dream come out with all these. You know what I mean? Remember when Damian Priest was in the pool with all the ladies? Remember that? Remember that segment? Remember that backstage scene? Yeah. That was back in the NXT Black and Gold brand. That NXT is still better than the NXT That NXT is still better than the NXT we're given now. I like the Black and Gold brand better. Easily. Now, Waller kicked the cage door into Waller before Breakker could enter the ring. Breakker recovered, tossed around Waller at ringside. Breakker slammed the cage door in the face of Waller. The bell rang when both men stood across from each other. Vince Joseph noted that they can't win the match by escaping the cage and can only win by submission or pinfall. Waller slammed Breakker off the apron with the cage door before the match began. As soon as they were both in the ring, the champion took control. However, Waller used the environment and the damage he already caused to find ways to get the upper hand. As time went on, it seemed like Waller found his groove and began to dictate the pace a bit more. As he became more desperate, Waller started talking bigger risk. He climbed all the way to the top of the cage, but when Breakker stood up, Waller tried to climb back down. The champion ended up hitting a huge spear with a running start to get the win after Waller defiantly slapped him in the face. Now, it was a solid effort from both men. They felt slightly hampered by the situation. They did. But let's be honest, real. Yes, bro. It was a good match. It was hard to have this match stand out from the other standout matches on the show. Okay? Let's be real on that. Also, you got to give them credit for effort. Both men tried their best to tell a compelling story. The other matches, like this show, so much so that it combined with Bron Breakker's La La La, or should I say LILOL, Cena wins. It combined with Bron Breakker's LOL, Cena wins. Levels of plot armor, making it hard to suspend disbelief during near falls. Waller especially tried his best to draw heat, but it was just a tough mountain to climb, especially since it seems like crowds are getting less, less, I'd say, intrigued by Breakker's presumed program with Carmelo Hayes, though. Maybe. But Bron Breakker winning and retaining and Carmelo Hayes coming out definitely sets up Bron Breakker's next, which his next feud will be with Carmelo Hayes. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Your thoughts on Bron Breakker feuding with Carmelo Hayes going forward? Let me know. Now, if Melo didn't get called up, he probably would have been the heir apparent champion heading into Mania weekend. So, he didn't get called up. He's not getting called up yet. Probably going to get there with Bron Breakker at the show based off the show closing moment. This is definitely going to be a test from Bron Breakker. I will tell you guys that. But we saw last night that Melo can defiantly carry his end of the bargain. This NXT Vengeance Day show was really, really good. This was one of the best NXT Vengeance Day pay-per-views of 2023. This was one of the best NXT pay-per-views of 2023. All the matches stood out in a different way and all had that takeover feel to it. All these matches should have been produced and written on the black and gold brand. See, if they had the black and gold brand back right now, I would be saying that. But no, they don't have the black and gold brand. They're going with the gold and white. This felt like black and gold takeover feel. These matches did. Really? Legitimately. Now, I will give the main event an A+. Not an A. Not an A-. Not an A-. A+ forever. Other matches had the bonus of having lots of veterans, talent involved. Decent pay-per-view, man. Two of the best matches on the show, in my opinions. Wes Lee versus Dijak for the North American Championship and Carmelo Hayes versus Apollo Crews. Those are the two matches I enjoyed the most out of all these matches on the show. And that's going to do it for your 2023 NXT Vengeance Day review. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you do. Most importantly, turn on that bell for all notifications. You never miss a single watch along and review that goes live each and every single week here on the IWN YouTube channel. Or even a game goes live. Even a game stream, man. And a video. Guys, I'm getting ready to take a break. I will be right back in about 3 minutes.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of
So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, guys.
Had to work hard.
When I come back, it'll be time for your WWE AW Sunday Night News.
Just so they could see
I'll be back.
Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over.
Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Dreaming, but the only thing in
all
life
of your
that has meaning
WWE and AW Sunday Night News is coming up next here on the IWN YouTube channel. I'll be right back, guys.
I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the fucking hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And fuck all the doubters. They're just fucking downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring, yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart? Are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs? Are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God, don't let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they don't let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to feed. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Took until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
again. It's a redskin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your WWE and AEW Sunday Night News. I hope everybody is having a good Sunday night, by the way. We're going to start with your WWE Sunday Night News here, and then we'll go with your AEW Sunday Night News. There is some AEW Sunday Night News to go over as well. Four minutes didn't take long, did it? Told you guys I'd be back. Alrighty. We're going to go ahead and start with the news on what's booked for this week's episode of SmackDown. And then we'll go over the news on Pat McAfee's future on WWE commentary, remaining unclear. So WWE books tag team title match and more for this week's episode of SmackDown. So, the Usos have been at the top of WWE's tag team division for more than 2 years now. This week, Jimmy and Jay will defend their SmackDown Tag Team Championships this coming week against the dynamic duo of Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Braun Strowman and Ricochet beat Imperium. They beat Imperium's Louis Kaiser and Giovanni in the SmackDown Tag Team Contender Tournament Finals this past week, which was last week on the Blue brand. They'll face the Usos for the titles this week on SmackDown this Friday night coming up. And plus, Rey Mysterio, Madcap Moss, Karrion Kross, and Santos Escobar will collide in a fatal four-way match. The winner will get a title shot against Intercontinental Champion Gunther. So those are the matches for Friday Night SmackDown, and I will make sure I have my SmackDown and Rampage watch-alongs ready early this week, because I'll be watching both Friday SmackDown and Rampage this week. If they don't have a terrible Rampage card, if the Rampage card doesn't look so terrible, if I find out Rampage card is terrible, if I find out on Dynamite the matches that I don't want to see on screen, I am going to legitimately schedule a SmackDown watch-along and not a Rampage watch-along. Seriously, I don't want a terrible card. I don't want to see no terrible matches on Rampage this week. I want to see different matches that we got last week. Because last week's Rampage was easily one of the best Rampage episodes that we haven't got in a long time. They need to produce Rampage shows like that every week on Rampage. If we can get Rampage shows like that every week, the Rampage viewership will go up. And the chances are they're going to get more views. So, Pat McAfee's future on WWE commentary remains unclear. It's ringside news, not me. On April the 16th, 2021, WWE announced that Pat McAfee had been removed to SmackDown from NXT, serving as color commentator, alongside Michael Cole as a babyface. Last September, Pat McAfee stepped away from the SmackDown color commentary team to accept a position on ESPN's College Game Day. Those of you that didn't know, now you know. Wayne Barrett replaced Pat in the WWE role. WWE announced that the NFL punter would return once he's through with the ESPN project. Following the Royal Rumble, more details about Pat McAfee's return were revealed according to Fightful. None of the commentators had any knowledge of McAfee's homecoming, and the former NFL athlete arrived in the stadium, the stadium for the Royal Rumble, less than 30 minutes before his appearance on live television. The report also stated that there was no official confirmation on whether Pat McAfee was returning to the SmackDown commentary booth full time. Had to see if he returns, if he ever has the time to. Last Friday's episode of SmackDown didn't feature Pat McAfee at the announcer's table. Michael Cole and Wayne Barrett voiced the 2-hour-long show, and there was no sign of the NFL veteran. It appears that McAfee's appearance at the Royal Rumble was for one night only, and he is yet to make his full-time return to the Blue brand. What's y'all think on this story? Let me know in the live chat. I got some news on what happened with the Bloodline after WWE SmackDown went off the air. Sami Zayn ambushed Roman Reigns during the main event of SmackDown last week. despite using a steel chair. This was this past Friday night. Zayn was unable to defeat the tribal chief. Zayn then issued a challenge to Reigns for his titles. Following a huge beatdown by the Bloodline, Roman Reigns accepted the challenge, and a championship match was booked for the Elimination Chamber Premium Live Event. Right after SmackDown went off the air, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso squared off against the Good Brothers in tag team action and managed to win the match. Have to see how he will book the Bloodline versus Sami Zayn's feud in coming weeks. After all, it has now become the hottest storyline in WWE and perhaps all of professional wrestling. Says Ringside News. What is y'all's take on this story? Michael Cole believes Sami Zayn and the Bloodline angle deserves an Emmy award. An Emmy award? Sounds interesting to me. Should they deserve something? I mean, this is one of the best storylines, one of the greatest storylines in all WWE. They deserve something. Well, speaking on the Pat McAfee show, Michael Cole talked about Sami Zayn, the Bloodline storyline. Cole stated that he thinks the storyline deserves an Emmy. He says here, and I quote, this is what he said, guys. This Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens Bloodline, Sami Zayn storyline is probably the best television we've done in a decade. Yeah, no shit, man, it is. Even Michael Cole says the Bloodline storyline is one of the best. It's one of the greatest storylines in all of WWE. Man, if Michael Cole is saying it, then that is saying something. Listen up, listen, guys. If you got Michael Cole saying that the Bloodline storyline is one of the greatest storylines in all WWE, that should be telling you something right there. That should be telling the entire internet wrestling community something. Even the geeks online. Cole declared it's Emmy worth. It's Emmy worthy in many ways. End quote. WWE has tried to get an Emmy award for years, but it hasn't happened yet. They had Emmy award winners on their staff. WWE has ever pulled down the award for their own programming. Only time will tell if the Bloodline will get it done for Vince McMahon's company. Roman Reigns will be defending his Universal Championship against Sami Zayn in Elimination Chamber. Yes, I already said that, guys. I already gave that out. The storyline will progress well heading towards WrestleMania 39, in my opinion. Let's hope so. Anyway. Let's hope it does. Hopefully it doesn't end up being a failure, a fluke, or anything like that. The Usos will have trouble in the Elimination Chamber. I don't know why they're saying that. Oh, because it's in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. That's why. Fans on social media are talking about the Usos because Jey Uso seemingly walked out the Bloodline following Sammy's betrayal at the Royal Rumble. Since then, he has not been seen and was also not present at WWE SmackDown this week. However, if Jey decides to rejoin the group, the Usos probably won't be able to make the Elimination Chamber Premium Live Event in Canada. The Usos, specifically Jimmy, are both unlikely to appear in Montreal, Canada for the Premium Live Event, given their DUI history. Jimmy still has pending charges, and unless they can work something out, he won't be allowed in Canada. This is due to the fact that Canada takes DUI cases more seriously than other countries, and therefore the Usos may not be permitted to travel there. That is not the news I wanted to read. That is not the news article I wanted to read. That's not what I wanted to hear. You guys better be saying your prayers and hoping the Usos will show up. I don't think the Canadians like having people with DUI charges in their country. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, man. I'm not throwing it to start drama or to start politicalism or whatever, or racism or whatever you want to call it. So if that's the case, it looks like Sami Zayn may have a better chance of beating Roman Reigns for the title. No. Sorry. Says Ringside News, because they're the ones that are saying it, not me. Ringside News, they're saying that Sami Zayn may have a chance of beating Roman Reigns for the title. No, wrong. He doesn't have a chance in hell to beat Roman Reigns for the title. Even Sami Zayn is not enough to dethrone Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. Roman Reigns is retaining at the Elimination Chamber. And it's going to be all thanks to the help of Jey Uso. I told you guys what's going to happen. What's going to happen is when Sami Zayn almost has Roman Reigns defeated, Jey Uso is going to come out. He's going to help Roman Reigns dethrone and retain his WWE Undisputed Universal Championship over Sami Zayn. It's going to be all thanks to Jey Uso. And then after that match, they're going to beat down Sami Zayn, and Kayden is going to come out for the save. And he's going to clear all the Bloodline members from ringside. And the babyfaces, KO and Sami Zayn, are going to be standing tall, and they're going to be hugging it out for the first time. That's what's going to happen. That's going to close Elimination Chamber right there. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens standing tall. Canada is Kevin Owens' hometown too, so you know Kevin Owens is going to be there. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Even JD didn't even mention this on his podcast. He didn't even mention that KO was going to be there. And I'm the first one that's mentioning it. I'm the first one that's mentioning the fact that KO is going to be in Montreal, Quebec County. It's going to be there. He's going to be there. Whether people like it or not, it's going to be there. He's going to be there. He is going to be there, man. Believe me, it's happening. It's not only Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' hometown, it's Aaliyah and Natalia's hometown too. We could see the return of Aaliyah. We could. Aaliyah lives in Canada. We could see the return of her. She could return. It could be a one-off though. I don't know. I don't know, man. We might end up seeing Aaliyah return. I don't know. Maybe. You never know, man. You might see Aaliyah return and cost somebody the Elimination Chamber women's match. I mean, you never know. Maybe that's why Natalya inserted herself into the Elimination Chamber when she won that Elimination Chamber women's match, which was one of the worst fucking women's matches on the show on SmackDown. That right there should let you know that the women's division on SmackDown needs a change. And it needs a change now. The NXT women's division also needs a change. The draft needs to happen. Brand splits need to end. This is getting out of hand, man. These rosters need to be fixed. The shows are doing great. The rosters, man, it's the rosters. Some of the shows are doing great, not all of them. Some shows are garbage. Some shows are mid. Some shows are lackluster. Some shows are decent. Some are just the best that WWE's ever produced, you know? You're going to have stuff like that. You're going to have shows like that, man. It happens. WWE down viewership dips a bit with Royal Rumble fallout. Uh-oh, not good. I wonder why. I think I can explain why. It was because of the two women's matches that they produced. The two women's matches, I think, were cause of the reason why the viewership brought down. See, this goes to me saying that the women's division on SmackDown needs to change. Why do you think I say that? The women's matches on SmackDown were the reasons why the viewership dropped. Because of the women's matches. Nobody enjoyed the Sonya Deville-Charlotte Flair match. Nobody enjoyed the Women's Elimination Chamber match. The SmackDown women's division is terrible. They need to change the division. It is terrible down there. The only division that's doing great right now in wrestling is AEW. The AEW women's division is all I can think of. It's the only division, in my opinion, that's doing great. And Monday Night Raw, their division's doing better than SmackDown and NXT, but they're no different. They're no different. You know what I'm saying? My goodness. According to Spoiler TV, February the 3rd's episode of Friday Night SmackDown drew an overnight average of 2.2635 million viewers with a 0.55 in the 18 to 49 demographic. And you know what? Speaking of the SmackDown and NXT women's divisions, it's not those ladies' faults, man. It's not the women. It's not the entire SmackDown and NXT women's division's fault that their divisions are terrible. It's not their fault. It's Vince and Bruce. It's fucking Vince and Bruce. It is not Triple H. It's Vince and Bruce. Vince and Bruce were the reasons why the divisions have been terrible the way they've been all these years. Because Vince and Bruce. It's their fault, man. Why do you think Charlotte Flair became the SmackDown Women's Champion? To make the women's division stand out. The women's division still ain't stand out with her being champion. The women's division still doesn't mean nothing with Charlotte Flair as the SmackDown Women's Champion. I hate to say this about Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is great. She's one of my favorites, don't get me wrong. But even Roxanne Perez being NXT Women's Champion means nothing for the entire NXT Women's division. Absolutely nothing. Zero. None. None. Means absolutely zero. Nothing. No. Whatsoever. I said it in the realest fucking way that I want to say it. Because I mean that. I'm serious about it. Charlotte Flair politicaled her way into the match against Rhea Ripley. But Rhea Ripley was the one that chose Charlotte Flair at the same time. I already explained to you guys why Rhea Ripley chose Charlotte Flair. I explained to you guys 2 weeks ago why. I'm not going to repeat it. Okay. I'm just going to let you go check out my Monday Night Raw review. You know. All you got to do, if you guys don't know where my Monday Night Raw review is, I'm going to tell you. All you have to do is go to my YouTube channel, go to live. You see where it says WWE Raw, January 31st, 2023. Go there, click on that, and listen to it, keep on listening to it, and until it gets to the part where I say, I'm going to explain to you why. I'm going to explain to you why Rhea Ripley picked Charlotte Flair, and you'll know. And you'll finally hear the answers you've been waiting for. Okay. I'm working on not repeating myself, okay? I'm trying. Listen, man. I want to do what's best for me, okay? What's best for me and my audience? What's best for my content? What's best for my YouTube channel? Most important. Okay. Now, WWE changes policy about NXT talent working indie wrestling events. Now, why would they do that? And then WWE, and then it says WWE will only allow NXT talents to work for Booker T's indie wrestling company. Sounds the same to me. Sounds the same to me. It says Bryan Alvarez logged onto YouTube, or Twitter, not YouTube, excuse me. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and he reported that WWE will allow their NXT talent to wrestle on some indie dates going forward. It's a big change in policy from the previous regime. And I quote, NXT is going to allow talent to work select indies going forward, which is a pretty big deal. End quote. You have to wonder if there are some indie companies that will receive favor over others. After all, Booker T owns Reality of Wrestling, so WWE is not only doing Booker T a favor, but they also know Ivy now will be in good. Oh, really? Guess we'll have to find out the hard way, huh? As to whether she'll be in good hands or not. But the main question remains, will she be in good hands on the main roster with Vince there? Vince might be still in control of creative. He might be helping Triple H with creative. We don't never know. We won't know. Because he wants WWE to go private when WWE gets sold. There shouldn't be no sale in WWE right now. The stock is up. The viewership is up. The ratings is up. Even JD said this on his podcast. But these geeks in the community say otherwise. Fuck these damn geeks in the community. I don't care. I don't care what they say. I only care about what I say. What I say is important. What the smart guys like myself and JD and Jesse and everybody else in the community say it's important. Not what the geeks, not what the geeks say is important. No, sorry. Fuck the geeks online. All they do is give you false information while we give you real information and real news. We are the smart guys. We're the ones that give you real WWE and AEW news like nobody else. JD gives you WWE and AEW news like nobody else. IWN gives you WWE and AEW news like nobody else does. Even Fightful gives you good news like nobody else. Ringside News, even Ringside News gives you good news like nobody else. And they're not dirt sheets. I don't know why these geeks, I still see these geeks online saying that Ringside News are dirt sheets. Why do they keep calling them dirt sheets? How many times do I gotta tell people that Ringside News are not dirt sheets? Really? When is people gonna get that through their heads? I mean, I really don't understand this shit. I really don't. I legitimately don't, man. I don't. Really. So, WWE will only allow NXT talent to work for Booker T's indie wrestling company. Recently, says Ringside News, Bryan Alvarez reported that WWE has allowed NXT talent to work select independent promotions, with NXT Ivy Niles kicking things off in regards to the new partnership next week, which happens to be this week. Hello. The Dynamite member will make her debut for Booker T's Reality of Wrestling Saturday in Texas. Oh, really? I guess it remains to be seen how good they will do her in reality wrestling. Given that Booker T has the worst fucking opinions and takes on this reality wrestling podcast. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, man. It says here in that quote, Reality of Wrestling is taking the roster to the next level. We are proud to announce that we'll be working with NXT to bring our fans incredible matchups they can't see anywhere else. Don't miss the chance to see NXT's Ivy Now in action on Saturday, February the 11th in Texas City. Oh, really? Yeah. I'd love to know when. It's February the 11th. That's when. February the 11th, guys. It's when Ivanhoe will be in action on Saturday in Texas City. The original report implied that NXT talent will be able to work multiple independent promotions. It doesn't appear to be the case because ROW's official Twitter account has now clarified that the new partnership is exclusive to Booker T's wrestling promotion. If said indie company is owned by Booker T, it says, end quote. Booker T commented on the partnership as well, knowing he's excited to merge his NXT favorites with the ROW roster. I'm interested. Well, I don't know if I'm interested, but I'm wondering how that's going to turn out. I wonder how Vince McMahon is looking at this. I wonder how Triple H is looking at this. Never mind ROW working with NXT. Never mind ROT combining with NXT roster or whatever. Blah. I don't know, man. Something weird. Something's not right about that. Umaga's son hopes to get off parole and start pro wrestling training. Parole? Wait a minute. Umaga's son is facing prison time? What? Umaga's son, Zilla Fadu, spent 6 years in the Texas State Penitentiary. No, I was thinking more like, hey, yo, Jimmy, spell it out for me. Oh, yeah, thank you. I was thinking more like the USO Penitentiary. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, the Texas State Penitentiary for aggravated robbery. However, he got out of prison in March of 2022 and is looking to get his life back together by becoming a professional wrestler. Well, good for him. Hopefully, he won't make any more bad choices in his life. Zilla Fadu recently did an interview with Muscle Man Malcolm, where he mentioned that he wanted to join the wrestling business, considering his family was on top. So he says, and I quote, this is what Fadu says, Umaga's son. He says, to be honest, when I was in prison, I really didn't have it on my mind. But when I came home and I saw that my family was on top of the business, meaning top of the mountain, I'm just speaking facts, man. I'm thinking, why not? I don't know if you know or anybody else knows. I'm sure everybody knows. But his dad, my dad, he says, didn't want none of us to do wrestling. Like at all. So nobody. So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Nobody in his family didn't want him to do wrestling. I hope everybody in his family wanted to do wrestling. I don't know. This sounds confusing to me. But Umaga's son goes on to say, so that was kind of hard going against what my dad's wishes were. And quote, Zilla Fadu further mentioned that he was looking to get off parole faster. And in order to do that, he's trying to stay positive and not go down the bad route. He continues by saying, really? Just to get off parole faster? I don't know if you know or anybody else knows. He's basically saying the same thing over and over. I am on parole right now, so that's a big thing because I heard we can get off parole faster. That's what I'm working on right now. There's a whole bunch of paperwork. It's a big process. I have to go through and, obviously I got to stay out of trouble and show them that I'm involved with the community. Yeah, just try to stay positive and not try to go down the bad route. End quote. You know what? I could see WWE possibly signing Zilla Fadu. WWE needs to pick this guy up. I want to see him in the bloodline. I want to see him as the newest member of the bloodline, man. See how he's. NXT needs to fucking sign this guy. Really. Zilla Fadu, also known that he picked Booker T's Reality of Wrestling School to start training because the WWE Hall of Famer is a really close friend of the family. Fadu also mentioned that he has already spoke to Booker T. I was thinking he was going to train with The Rock. Never mind. Who advised him to focus on getting off parole first. He says it's in Houston. I'm on parole, so I can't leave the state. Most importantly, he's a really close friend to the family. Before my dad was Umaga, my dad been knowing Booker T since then. So that's a long time. It was an easy choice for me to choose when I came home. And then I had that discussion with Booker 2 months after being home. We talked about it, and he was just like, just focus on your parole stuff first. When I got some of my parole classes, because when you're on parole, you have to do certain classes, and you have to graduate from them. I'm very happy that I successfully completed my classes on parole. When I hit Booker T up, and I was like, I'm ready. It was like, man, pull up. End quote. If he does manage to break into the business, then the bloodline could get even stronger in the future. That is assuming that they still, given that I mentioned that, what if he was the new member of the bloodline? I mean, I did say that. I mean, did I not say that, man? I'm sorry. I don't hear the negative WWE geeks in the community crying. Man, they will cry faster than a fly can damn go on the fucking ground. They'll cry faster than a cheetah can run if they see this guy on the main roster being the newest member of the bloodline. Zilla Fadu. I think him being the newest member of the bloodline would be great, to be honest. People are saying this bloodline storyline's getting old. Well, what's getting old is probably you. What's getting old is probably your mind and your brain of yours. What's getting old is the fact that you're a fat slob and sitting down and eating every single day and not fucking lifting enough weights, not running enough. The bloodline storyline is great. I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's not getting old to me. That's the negative WWE geeks in the community that say it's getting old. One thing that's getting old is them and their verified accounts. That's the only thing that's getting old. Them and their verified fake ass accounts. Always spewing negativity, man. Never all about the positivity. They always got to be about the negativity, man. These WWE negative fans, negative geeks on the internet wrestling community on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are the drizzling shits, man. Toxic as they come. Now, that is assuming that they still managed to remain together for that long, says Ringside News. As far as the bloodline getting even stronger in the future goes. What is y'all's take on this story? Let me know. Comcast lost interest in buying WWE. Put upset sales talks. I wonder why. Somebody tell me why. I want some answers. Man. I'm demanding answers. I wonder why. It says here that Comcast was said to be interested in buying WWE, but then CEO Nick Khan was informed that Comcast isn't interested. This could change things up in a big way for WWE's sales plan. There shouldn't even be no sale anyway. The stock viewership ratings is up. I've said it twice already. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that Comcast removing their interest from the situation could spell trouble for the company's mission to sell at a high price. Uh-oh. Ooh. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? What you gonna do when they come for you? I'm just done. I'm just wondering, man. Like, really? They're coming for you, man. They're coming for you, Vince. The fireman department and the police departments in Detroit, man, they're coming for you, bro. They're suing your ass, man. Get him out. Get Vince out, man. He needs to go. Get him out. Comcast pulling out could also scare off potential buyers. It says here, and I quote, "They need to make it look like people want them." But word is out that Comcast doesn't. That might hurt the sale because that might lower the value, says Wrestling Observer Radio. Then they go on to say people might go if Comcast is paying all this money for them. What? Whoa, wait a minute. What they say? You hear what they saying, Billy, man? They're adding money to the discussion. See what I'm saying? What I'm talking about? What the fuck they talking about here? They don't trust. And the only way you wouldn't be is that you don't want to make that outweigh right now. Outweigh. They can't even spell. They said outweigh. I don't even, what is that? They can't even spell. They don't even know how to say it right. Because everything is so uncertain, or as much as wrestling's history is what it is. What is outweigh? I would love for somebody to tell me, what is outweigh? Outweigh. The words are bunched in together. Way is beside out. And it has no space in between. Wrestling Observer Radio, can you answer me? What's outweigh, man? I can't hear you, man. I can't hear you, man. I'm looking at the sky. Zero. No, let me stop. As much as wrestling's history, as what it is, you don't have full trust that it'll be forever. And quote, it was noted that the NBA and NFL make long-term deals. But if WWE can't secure one, then that isn't a good look. WWE is obviously a crucial point in talks to sell the company. That doesn't sound good. We do not need to hear shit like that, okay? I'm telling you right now. Something like Comcast pulling out isn't a good thing at all for them. Good. They don't need a sale. Maybe Comcast pulled out because they realized that WWE doesn't need a sale. That's going to be the same reason why the other companies are going to pull out. Maybe Saudi Arabia or eventually will realize. And maybe they'll fucking pull out as well. I hope that that's the case. I hope Saudi Arabia pulls out. I hope USC pulls out. I hope Disney pulls out. And I certainly hope Nickelodeon pulls out. I hope all the companies pull out to where we have no sale. Because no sale should be happening. Thank you. Moving on. Bye, Felicia. Even Saudi Arabia were said to be in the run. Only time will tell if pulling their interest will cause a huge shift in the favorite potential buyer for WWE. Hey, man, these sources, man, they're a bunch of comedians, man. I'm telling you, they really are. What is y'all's take on this situation with WWE selling the company? They think they're trying to be funny. They think they're trying to entertain us, man. They really do. They really think that. WWE is apparently targeting indie promotions to work with that are close to AEW. What is this about? It says here that while speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio. I was about to say WWE. Dave Meltzer talked about WWE though, working with indie promotions. It was noted that the company is targeting promotions to they're targeting promotions close to AEW. So this is what the Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer had to say. He said, and I quote, "It could be something really bad. Ivy Now is going to work a show in a couple of weeks for Booker T's Reality of Wrestling," which I already went over. Now listen to this part. This part's different here. Shawn Michaels actually said it's a one-time thing. What I understand as far as Reality of Wrestling, they expect to get some NXT stars from time to time. Ryan is basically correct, says Dave Meltzer, that there are several companies that are talked to with the idea that they may be able to get NXT stars, but the Booker T thing has to go well. If it goes well, there are other companies, and I think they are targeting companies that are close to AEW and see what they can do, end quote. Now, the question remains whether WWE's new direction as far as working with independent promotions will bear fruit. AEW is probably more than likely 100% keeping an eye on what WWE will do. They need to focus on themselves and not focus on what WWE's doing. Fuck what WWE's doing. AEW needs to focus on what they're doing. Dragon Lee couldn't be at... There's some news on Dragon Lee, guys. Dragon Lee couldn't be at WWE NXT Vengeance Day due to visa issues. The same issues that Buddy Murphy had. The same issues that Rhea Ripley had. The same issues Tegan Nox had, more than likely. I'm just naming a few. Just naming a few people that had visa issues. Same issues Kenny Omega back in AEW had. Probably the same issue that Layla Hirsch is having, given that we haven't seen her the last 7-8 months on AEW television. Layla Hirsch from AEW. You guys know her. You guys know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend like you don't know. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer brought up the fact that WWE didn't have any new NXT talent debut during Vengeance Day in the past. Incoming talent would be seen sitting at ringside. I think Miku Satomura is having visa problems too, because I haven't seen her on TV. Given that she's from Japan. Now, incoming talent would be seen sitting at ringside. But that was not the case this time around. Dragon Lee inked a deal with WWE to start with NXT, but he wasn't in Charlotte for the event. It was noted that the reason for his continued absence fell on visa issues. Says here, and I quote, "Yeah, they didn't. They're not relying on bringing in so many indie guys. I'm sure they wanted to introduce Dragon Lee, but he's having visa issues, so he's not there yet." End quote. Dragon Lee was a surprising signing for WWE, and he could do a lot in the company. Only time will tell when he finally shows up on NXT television. But he has some red tape to get out of the way first. Hopefully, WWE will be able to fix Dragon Lee's visa issues. They've helped many talented wrestlers. I just named a few of them out in the past who had problems wrestling in the United States until that happens. I will probably check ringside news on this news. They'll probably give us more news on it. I'm not sure. Hopefully we don't see no more of those old page articles from freaking Steve Courier. Hassan, I got to get a new webcam. It's got a shortage to it, so y'all will no longer be able to see my face until I get a new webcam. Unfortunately, it's sad. I know. Things happen. Things happen for reasons. Things happen for a reason, man. WWE changed Ronda Rousey's plans because she wanted them to. Oh, really? Nobody cares about Ronda Rousey. I don't know why they are giving out this news on Ronda Rousey possibly returning back to TV soon. Nobody gives a shit. Get her off of TV. Get Charlotte Flair off of TV, dude. Get him. Keep Lacey Evans off of TV. I'm glad Lacey Evans didn't appear. I'm glad she wasn't on TV. She is awful too. She is bad too. Not good in the ring. In fact, Ronda Rousey previously made it clear that she is no longer interested in pursuing Charlotte Flair and wants to dominate the tag team division instead. Meanwhile, the way I look at it, the women's tag team division, the WWE, is non-existent. Well, speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer talked about Ronda Rousey's plans after losing the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Meltzer noted that WWE changed Rousey's plans because she wanted them to. Yeah, sure thing. Like you're supposed to get anybody to believe this. Guys, man, they are hilarious, man. It says here, and I quote, they made the decision to go with Charlotte, which was basically a last-minute thing. Yeah. I'm not believing this story whatsoever. Let's put her over. Ronda then decided she wanted to be a tag team champion with Shayna Baszler because she's always wanted to do that run. So she will do that run. End quote. Hey, man, I thought you was going to do, you got nothing better to do than to talk, Dave Meltzer. I thought you was going to be rapping, man. I thought you was going to give us some rap lyrics. Jesus Christ, man. Only to give us this. WWE already has interesting plans for Ronda Rousey following her title loss. Let's see. Rather, Rousey will end up becoming Women's Tag Team Champion with Shayna Baszler in the future. I don't know if nobody wants to see that. Man. Get it out. Get it off the TV. Nobody wants to see that. Get that idea out of your fucking heads, man. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to imagine or picture the idea of that happening. There was a match made official for NXT this week. The NXT Vengeance Premium Live Event was a night of memorable moments and solid matches. As titles changed hands and rivalries were renewed in many ways, now WWE is already planning ahead for NXT. At NXT Vengeance Day, Valentina Perez issued an open challenge to any female wrestler on the NXT roster to face her in the ring on February the 7th episode of NXT. During the event, Lyra Valkyria stepped forward to accept the challenge. Perez has received encouragement from Elektra Lopez to win matches using any means necessary. But she suffered a loss against Thea Hall on the January the 17th episode of NXT after declining to use breast knuckles offered by Lopez. Thus, the match will take place NXT and NXT Next this week. So here's the current lineup for NXT this week. Valentina Perez versus Lyra Valkyria. That's it. Only one. Dude, we are just 2 days. We're just 1 day away from NXT and they have one match booked. One is all you could think of. What? God, man. I'm moving on. Moving on to the next one. WWE are delusional sometimes, man. They can be. Especially when with Vince and Bruce there. Otis issues challenge to the studs of NXT, says Ringside News again. While speaking to Wrestling Inc. at the WWE hosted Special Olympics training event during Royal Rumble weekend, Wrestling Inc. is one of Ringside News' sources, not mine. Otis weighed in on possibly returning to NXT in the near future. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that WWE is possibly looking to break up the Alpha Academy? No. That should not be happening. That would be one of the worst creative decisions ever. Breaking up the Alpha Academy. Chad Gable and Otis are good together. They are good the way they are together right now. I don't think breaking them up would be the slightest idea right now. Okay. You've seen how good they were as a heel tag team. Imagine how good they'll be as a babyface tag team in WWE. I can see them possibly bringing back Tucker and having Tucker reunite with Otis. That's probably explaining why they're going to break up. Why they possibly could break up Chad Gable and Otis. Man, I don't know. But I don't think it's a good idea still. Especially if they're not bringing Tucker back. I mean, if you're bringing Tucker back, okay. Different story. But if you're not bringing him back, then there's no use of breaking up Chad Gable and Otis. If you're not bringing Tucker back to reunite Otis so they can be known as Heavy Machinery again, then you might as well keep Chad Gable and Otis together as Alpha Academy going forward. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. It says here, and I quote from Otis, "I don't have beef with you until you get in the ring with me." Says Otis. He continues to say, "It could be. We said always, if you want to help, you want to have help. But there's a lot of studs on the NXT too. Like I said, if they want to come up tomorrow, come anytime to the main roster, bring it." End quote. Although Otis did become one of the most refined superstars on the NXT brand, he and former Heavy Machinery tag team partner Tucker Knight could never, I just mentioned Tucker's name not too long ago. What a coincidence, Tucker Knight's name is being brought up on Ringside News' article on their website. Look at that. Former Heavy Machinery tag team partner Tucker Knight could never manage to win the NXT tag team titles, considering the New Day's recent 56-day title run, same thing, as the NXT tag team champion. It shouldn't be out of the question for Otis and his current partner Chad Gable to make their way down to the gold brand and compete against the young stars of the NXT or of the next generation. That would be a great idea, having Alpha Academy being sent to NXT to compete against all the other tag teams. That'd be great. Then we would get to see Alpha Academy versus Judas and Brodus Creed. That would be a great match, given that they all have amateur backgrounds. Anyways, we know Dalton Castle's over in AEW has one too. I mean, let's not forget him. You know, Dalton Castle's from Ring of Honor. Randy Orton resurfaces amidst his WWE hiatus. I wanted to not give it out, but I'm going to give this news out anyway. The Apex Predator was recently spotted helping out at Boone Center in Missouri. Randy Orton can be seen flexing his biceps in a photo posted on Instagram and seems to be on point with his fitness regime lately. Randy Orton was last seen on television programming back in April 2022 when he and Matt Riddle lost the Raw Tag Team titles to the Usos in a title unification match. Orton was written off TV to rehab certain back issues, or have been a lot of concern regarding the variety of his health and whether he would be able to return in the future. Randy Orton's latest picture maybe suggests otherwise, and hopefully he will recuperate and eventually come back to the ring. And when he does, that is when to start the Matt Riddle and Randy Orton feud after Randy Orton comes back and turns heel on Matt Riddle. So you can bet your ass we're going to get Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle for WrestleMania 39. It's happening, whether people like it or not. It's going to happen. Whether you didn't like to hear that from me or not, It is most definitely 100% happening, and it's confirmed that it's going to happen. Now, Randy Orton debuted in WWE in 2002. He was promoted as the Legend Killer during his early run in the company, battling legendary WWE stars such as Mick Foley, Hulk Hogan, and The Undertaker. The former 14-time champion has been Marco. He's been a Marco attraction for the global juggernaut for a long time now. So, hopefully Randy Orton makes a speedy recovery. He returns to WWE soon to strike his opponents with his poison fangs and reclaim his position in the company. That's the most 3 destructive letters in all of sports entertainment. RKO. Now I'm going to show you guys this image of Randy Orton posing behind 2 guys with autism. The way their ears are poking out, you can instantly tell they're autistic. And I'm autistic too, so I completely understand. But I think I have a more different autism they do than those 2 guys are in the picture. I'm going to show you guys a picture of Randy Orton and these 2 autistic guys. That's posing in front of him in the pictures. All right, here it is, guys. There is a picture. There's that resurfaced picture of Randy Orton. Look like they're fishing. The way this picture looks. It legitimately looks like Randy Orton went fishing with these 2 guys and their family. Those 2 guys in front of him, they are autistic. I know. I can tell. I can tell by the way they look. They are autistic. Definitely autistic. They definitely have autism. That's what I have. I know. I get it. You love to see it, though. Really. 2 autistic men posing in front of Randy Orton. You love to see it. That's some inspiration shit right there, man. You love to see it. Okay. Taking this off now. Going on to your next WWE Sunday Night News. And this is your last WWE Sunday Night News. This last news I'm about to give. This one is on the identity of Grayson Waller's dancers during NXT Vengeance Day last night. Yes, I got some news on the identity of Grayson Waller's dancers. Hang on, let me find it. There it is. Grayson Waller became the #1 contender for the NXT Championship after winning the Iron Survivor Challenge match at NXT Deadline. In his match against Breakker ended in controversy. A match was then set for Vengeance Day. So Grayson Waller had a special interest for his main event match with NXT champion Bron Breakker at the Vengeance Day pay-per-view from the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Waller's entrance saw several dancers walk out with him. One dancer had a golden shoe on a pillow. The competitor tweeted that the dancers at the Performance Center, Streffling, Leah Mitchell, Monica Calicero, Sarah Beer, Jade Gentili, and Brianna Rogero. We'll have to wait and see what NXT will have plans. We'll have to see what NXT will have planned for Grayson Waller, as he had a tremendous performance and was not simply able to dethrone Bron Breakker. That is going to do it for your WWE Sunday Night News. Now it's time for your AEW Sunday Night News, guys. We're going to start with the news on AEW hiring a new director of community engagement. Well, I certainly did not see that news coming. Yeah. That news was unexpected, okay? That news yesterday was very, very shocking. Apart from professional wrestling, AEW has preached into various avenues, including television, social welfare, and many other aspects. Thus, AEW is more or less going in a solid direction, according to fans. According to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer newsletter, AEW has hired Caitlin Borden as the director of community engagement. It was said that she will be focusing on youth programs, social change, human rights, as well as physical and mental health. Caitlin Borden will collaborate with Mega Porith, Chief Legal Officer of AEW, in identifying and supporting charitable causes for the community, or should I say, company to support. It says here, and I quote, Caitlin Borden has been hired as the new director of community engagement, focusing on youth programs, social change, human rights, as well as physical and mental health. Borden will be working with Chief Legal Office Mega Perez in selecting and serving causes for AEW to work with. Amanda Hubbard, the wife of Brody Lee, will be in charge of working with local organizations for collaborations and coordinating activities. Mark Henry, Jake Roberts, Paul White, Sean Dean will also be working on the project. End quote. Guess what AEW has next in store for fans, as the company is certainly undergoing quite a few changes, and fans are in full support for all that. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the live chat that's open right now. Keith Lee's absence is storyline related, which I kind of knew that. That's why I didn't mention Keith Lee, because I knew he was absent because of that. WWE's release, Keith Lee's WWE release, came as a surprise to fans. They were even more shocked when he didn't immediately show up in AEW. The AEW debut eventually came for Keith Lee. He quickly formed a team with Squirt Strickland that has since disintegrated. The Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that Keith Lee's absence from AEW television is a part of the story. The former NXT champion is off AEW television, so he can sell a brutal cinder block attack with Swerve Strickland. It says here, and I quote from Wrestling Observer newsletter, Keith Lee is out of action because they are selling the cinder block spot with Swerve Strickland, so at some point he should be back for revenge. End quote. AEW is known to write talent off television for a few weeks, but their return for revenge has more weight to it. Only time will tell how fans react to Keith Lee's eventual return to the spotlight. Keith Lee entered AEW with a lot of hype behind him, and tons of fans pulling for his limitless potential. It seems that Keith Lee's spot on the roster was a bit lost in recent memory. But hopefully things will clear up after a cloudy period following this recent hiatus. I'll check back with Ringside News for more information on the story this week. And everything you guys need to know on the IW YouTube channel as far as the WWE and AEW news goes in the pro wrestling world. Now, we got a few more to go over, guys. A few more. We got news on AEW, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Swerve Strickland, and Ricky Starks to go over, and that's it. The news on Swerve Strickland and Ricky Starks seem to be serious. This news seems to be very, very serious. And I'm willing to bet that's going to be JD's discussion for this week. The Swerve Strickland, Ricky Starks backstage scuffle. That's probably going to be his topic of discussion on his off the script YouTube channel. I'm just predicting that's probably going to be. I don't know. More than likely. I might be right. I don't know. AEW isn't close to nailing down streaming deal. Oh, really? I wonder why. I guess we're about to find out. Well, with the inception of AEW Rampage back in 2021 and the company buying out Ring of Honor, the company has more content than ever before. More like they have too many talents, too many titles. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. But you don't hear me complain. Many fans have wondered if AEW will ever get a streaming service. AEW announcer Tony Schiavone previously stated that an AEW streaming service is likely to launch towards the end of last year, but it never happened. It was also said that the company is building a library for content for a future streaming service. Earlier, Bloomberg put out an article regarding AEW where they detailed the promotion's history in that piece. It was stated that AEW is considering starting a streaming service. Bloomberg published out an article regarding AEW where they detailed the promotion's history this past Saturday. So basically, the article mentioned that AEW is contemplating the launch of the streaming platform. It says here, and I quote, Khan acquired the small but respected pro wrestling company Ring of Honor from Sinclair Broadcast Group for an undisclosed sum, adding a new crop of wrestlers, some intellectual property, and an extensive video library. AEW is also considering starting a streaming service, likely though a deal with its broadcast partner, Warner Bros. Discovery, according to a person familiar with management's thinking, who asked not to be named. Last year, AEW broke $100 million in annual revenue for the first time. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. Holy, about language. The person says, end quote, while speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that AEW is not close to closing a streaming deal just yet. Wait, excuse me? Excuse me? Say what? What did I just hear? What did I just hear? Dave Meltzer said that AEW is still not close to closing a streaming deal just yet? What? No, that's not the reaction I was looking for. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You got to be kidding me, man. I cannot believe it. That's bad. They're still not close to a streaming deal yet. Oh man, that's almost like a boat drowning underwater. Hearing the fact that AEW is still not close to closing a streaming deal just yet. Oh my God. And then it says fans shouldn't expect it anytime soon. I know, but listen, man. I know. I mean, that's what they said, not me. Not me. I didn't say that. It's hard for me to judge that because the two things everybody ran with afterward were both not true. It says, and I quote, "The video game is not coming out this month. The video game is not coming out this month." I know, man, it sucks. The video game's not coming out. It fucking sucks, man. I know. Obviously, because it was, we would all know. And then the other one is they're not close to a streaming deal, of course. They want one. It's been talked about forever, for more than a year. But it's not a deal that's on the horizon right now. Sure thing. It remains to be seen how AEW will implement its services. You know, the streaming services. With streaming being the norm, in many places the company certainly has a lot to live up to. You guys better be living up to your moniker and living up to your handles on Instagram, man. I mean, just throwing it up. Throwing it out there, man. Not to mock Maddie Rakowski, no offense. Not to copy what she said. Well, she said to me. Adam Cole recalls losing memory during AEW Forbidden Door match. Despite being previously injured, Adam Cole participated in a fatal four-way match for the IWGP World Heavyweight title at Forbidden Door. The match resulted in further harm as Cole sustained a concussion. He was so determined to compete in the match that he made a hasty return from his prior concussion. Cole worked the match with a torn labrum. He faced Adam Page, Jay White, and Okada in a true dream match. Unfortunately, he suffered another injury in the match. Damn. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Cole recalled the match, noting that after taking a weird bump, he forgot where he was and what he was even supposed to do. Now, it says here, and I quote, "I had taken a few weeks off, getting ready for Forbidden Door. I had passed every single test I had to take. So I thought, oh, I'm good to go. Then again, at the Forbidden Door makeup, or should I say matchup, that's something women put on makeup. I don't see Adam Cole put on. That was not a woman. He's a guy. Get your minds out of the gun, man. The strangest thing about is I remember feeling really good. I had taken a bump where I felt a little bit weird. But it was an inaudible bump. I remember thinking, oh, okay, that felt a little strange. About 30 seconds go by. So, talk about go by, this time, more like this fucking time goes by really fast. So bad that I've already dropped my lemon lime. And my cold beverage, too. I got my cold beverage, JD. I got my cold beverage, bro. I'm ready, man. I'm just kidding. Anyways, the memory stuff is the really, really scary part to me. When in the middle of a ring and there's thousands of people around you, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. And then Adam Cole, baby, the realest in the illest in professional wrestling, Adam Cole. One of the best in-ring performers in this generation. This generation has to offer. he said, this was really scary. So I knew pretty early on after my memory started going that something was wrong. Once again, got to the back and got checked out. That one was really scary because they were so close to each other. It wasn't just scary because of how close they were to each other. Thank God that Adam Cole's back on TV. That's all I have to say about that. On a serious note, what really scared me a lot is this was part of where the concern of if I'm going to be able to wrestle again came from. I didn't anything insane. I guess he was trying to say I didn't do anything insane. He said I didn't anything. He should have said I didn't do it. He didn't put the do part in there. It wasn't this dramatic move or this insanely dangerous move that I had taken. It was a standard pro wrestling match where now I'm at a point where I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing, where I am or what's going on. That really created a lot of fear in me. And I think a lot of fear in a lot of the doctors as well. So that's kind of what happened. It felt like this domino effect. First, it was the shoulder. Then it was the head. She giving out head, I'm giving out bread. You know what I'm saying? No. Then it was okay. Let's rest 3 or 4 weeks. And then it was the head again. It was finally the scariest part of my career. I think in the 15 years I've been doing this. That quote. Adam Cole still has a little ways to go before making his in-ring return. We have to wait to see when Adam Cole will be able to compete inside the squared circle again. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I mean, Lord knows AEW desperately needs Adam Cole on TV. Not desperately. I mean, they're doing great. Don't get me wrong, but they need fresh new talent on TV. I think it's safe to say some fans in the community are tired of seeing the same stars on TV every week. I mean, do you blame them? I gotta ask you guys, do you blame them? Headline benefiting the Onion. Ooh. Kyle O'Reilly is in good spirits after surgery. Great, that's awesome. Never mind the fact that Adam Cole made a triumphant return to AEW TV on January the 11th. A fan started wondering what became of Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly on neck fusion surgery. Fusion? Ha! No, not that fusion. Get your minds out of it, man. Get your heads out of it. Not that. Not fusion from Dragon Ball Z. Now, we're not talking about that fusion. We're talking about fusion. You know, you know what kind of fusion I'm talking about. Anyway. You know, the fusion where they put that stuff in your neck and da-da-da-da, and they do whatever. It was expected that he would be out of action for a long time. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Adam Cole provided an update on Kyle O'Reilly's health after his surgery. Cole revealed that O'Reilly is in high spirits so far. He says, and I quote, "I talk to him every day. He's doing great. He's doing really well. He's in a situation now where he's working so hard to make sure that he gets healthy as soon as he possibly can." 100% healthy, Adam Cole is referring to. That's what he means. 100% healthy. Speedy recovery is important, man, especially for female professional wrestlers in NXT like Nikia Lyons. You know, we seen that video of Nikia Lyons blowing a kiss in the hospital with her leg being worked on. But at the same time, making sure that he doesn't rush back. Oh yeah, that video of Nikia Lyons was on Instagram, in case you guys wonder where it was. Kyle was really banked up, and it got to a point where he kind of couldn't take it anymore. I'm so glad that he got fixed and got healthy, and is recovering day by day, every day. I wonder when Adriana Grace is returning to NXT. We haven't heard from her yet. She's slowly recovering as well. Now, early on says, Adam Cole says that I think he was so discouraged because there was so little that he was able to do. But now, as time goes on, he's starting to be able to do more and more in therapy and rehab. You see the excitement and wheels turning off. Him already thinking about how he can't wait to go back. He's in good spirits, and he has a lot of people around him that love him a lot. End quote. I have to wait and see how Kyle O'Reilly will be booked once he is back in AEW. For the time being, he's probably going to line himself back with Adam Cole. He's going to be a face, like Adam Cole is. Probably. Fans are simply waiting for his return, so he has a lot left to prove to everyone. Either he's going to be back to line himself with Adam Cole, or he's just going to be a singles competitor going forward in AEW. Just like Adam Cole. And Bobby Fish, fortunately, I hate to say, Bobby Fish. Swerve Strickland and Ricky Starks. No, not my shift manager, not my KFC shift manager, Ricky. I'm talking about Ricky Starks. Ring name Ricky Starks in AEW. They are two different people, okay? Throwing it out there. This is your last AEW Sunday night news for your Sunday night. I thought I saved this for last. This is huge news and huge development. This is a shock. I was shocked when I seen this news. So apparently Swerve Strickland and Ricky Starks were involved in a backstage scuffle. Not good. Not good. Not good, man. So last year at AEW Double Nothing, check this out. The Jurassic Express defended their AEW World Tag Team Championships against Swerve and Our Glory and Team Taz in a hard battle. However, the match became the talk of the town due to an apparent miscommunication between Swerve and Ricky Starks during the match. I think this was something old, I'm not sure. While the incident was quickly resolved, new developments regarding the backstage drama have come to light. Oh, yeah, so this is new. Fightful Select reported last year there were some issues between the two men due to a miscommunication. I'm thinking more like a misunderstanding. That's what I'm thinking. Sounds the same to me. The issue was due to an unplanned spot in the match that saw Swerve attack Ricky after a attempted pin on Jungle Boy. It is reported that Ricky Starks was supposed to go for his finish on someone, but Swerve Strickland found himself doing nothing and thought it would be better to get hit and dumped out of the ring. Otherwise, he would just be standing there doing nothing. This incident resulted in the two men having a backstage scuffle following their match. A follow-up segment on AEW Dynamite was also next after the altercation. However, Starks and Swerve have settled their differences and are fine to this day. Only to find out that this was a nothing story. Waste of time. Waste of time news. Well, I thought this was new. Sounds old to me. Man, I knew not to fall for this. It says here, and I quote, "Not all of the backstage AEW fistcuffs have resulted in a long-term issues. A couple of top performers in All Elite Wrestling have admitted that they got into a skirmish in 2000, I guess, into a fight. That's what they were saying. In 2022, it goes on to say Swerve Strickland and Ricky Starks were involved in a tag team championship match, AEW Double or Nothing, which led to a scuffle. Where the two men, Fightful Select, have reported last year that there have been some issues between the two after the match due to a miscommunication. However, this was the first we'd heard of it elevated to scuffle status. We're told that the issues stemmed from a miscommunication late in the match where there was an unplanned spot that saw Swerve attack Ricky Starks after an attempt pin on Jungle Boy. Starks was originally supposed to go for his finish on someone, where Swerve found himself doing nothing and thought it would be a better improve to get hit and dumped out of the ring. Otherwise, he'd be standing there watching it. We had heard that they had a follow-up segment on Dynamite. After that, next, but made peace after that. And are fine to this day. They even worked together a couple of months later on AEW Fighter Fest. We're told that the two spoke about the scuffle while on the Jericho cruise for an upcoming episode of Swerve's podcast. For Fightful Select, end quote. 2022 will always be remembered for the number of backstage issues that AEW had to deal with, including the backstage media scrum incident between the Elite and CM Punk. It's good that these two men were able to settle this quickly instead of letting them escalate. Awesome. Something Tony Khan should have did when the Elite and CM Punk were having that backstage brawl during the media call. You know, that freaking AEW All Out media scrum where CM Punk, All Elite, where CM Punk and the Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson got into it backstage. They still got into it with him too. Yeah, that. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for your WWE and AEW Sunday Night News. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing it. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Hit that like button. Let's get a lot of likes on the stream minimum. Let's get at least 10 likes minimum on the stream. I really appreciate it. Be sure you share this stream, most importantly, this Vengeance Day review, to all social media so everybody can see. Let them know that I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours for monetization. We are almost at 580 subscribers. Thank you guys for your overwhelming support. Keep supporting the channel, man. That's what I'm talking about. This is what makes me happy. It's what makes me proud. Anyways, guys, I'm getting out of here. I think I'm going to be showing a new game too, so you might want to stay on Twitter for a little bit, in case. I'm about to be posting my schedule here in a bit. I'll probably end up streaming it in the morning. I don't know. There don't appear to be anybody on right now. I do got some thumbnails and backgrounds to do for my Monday Night Raw and AEW Dynamite reviews and watch-alongs. And for my game streams as well. I may be streaming on a laptop this week. I don't know. I'll see. But until then, guys, I will be posting my schedule, my YouTube schedule on my YouTube community page. So be sure you are on there for that so you can see what I got planned for this week. Thank you guys for joining me for your 2023 Vengeance Day review. And I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of y'all's Sunday night. I'm out of here. And I pushed the wrong button. I pushed the wrong button again. My mind must have been somewhere else. I'm getting out of here, guys. Make sure you go check out all the other content if you haven't. Go check out my Royal Rumble review, Monday Night Raw review, Dynamite reviews. All those reviews are on the channel, man. I'm making some changes to the channel this week, and I'm for real this time. I'm really about to start working on my new channel, Art Banner, because I'm tired of waiting. I'm ready to work on it. But it seems like every time I say that, I never have time to do it because I have to go live with a stream or I have to go to work. I'm getting out of here, guys. Have a good one. Have a great, blessed Sunday. I'll see you guys. I should see you guys tomorrow. I may be streaming a new game tomorrow before work. We'll see. I'll see what I got planned for this week. Later, guys.